This tutorial is for 4th grade, Module 1, Lesson 12. In this lesson, we're going to use estimation and tape diagrams to solve word problems. The first problem says, for the bake sale, Connie baked 144 cookies. Esther baked 49 more cookies than Connie. The first question says, about how many cookies did Connie and Esther bake? And then we're going to estimate by rounding each number to the nearest 10 before adding. To start, I'm going to write an answer statement so I know what the goal of my question is. I'll say, Connie and Esther baked blank cookies. Now we need to round each number to the nearest 10 before we start our tape diagram. If I look at the number of cookies that Connie baked, that was 144. I have a 4 in my tens place, but I also have 100. So I'm going to look at that as 14 groups of 10. The smallest answer choice would be 140. The next group of 10 would be 150. The midpoint is 145. Since 144 falls beneath the midpoint, we would round it to 140. Now let's look at what it says about Esther. We don't know how many cookies Esther baked, but we do know she baked 49 more cookies than Connie, and we'll round that 49 to the nearest 10 as well. Well, 49 has 4 sets of 10, which is 40. That would be my smaller answer choice. Another group of 10 would be 50, so that would be the larger choice. The midpoint is 45. 49 falls after the midpoint, so we will round that amount to 50. Now let's show these numbers on a tape diagram. I'm going to show Connie's cookies on a tape, and that would be 140. And we'll label that. Now we don't know how many cookies Esther baked, but we do know that she baked the same amount as Connie and then about 50 more. So we'll make her tape longer, and we'll show that the portion that's more than Connie's is 50 cookies. And again, if she baked the same amount, that would have been 140 cookies. So a couple things we need to figure out here. We need to figure out how many cookies Esther baked in all, but to answer the final question, we need to figure out how many cookies were baked by both girls. So for Esther, we have 140 cookies plus 50 cookies. So that would be 190 cookies. Now let's add both these together. We have 140 for Connie and 190 for Esther. I'll add them using the standard algorithm. 0 and 0 is 0. 4 tens and 9 tens is 13 tens. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. So in all, Connie and Esther baked about 330 cookies. Now that's an estimation. What we need to find out is exactly how many cookies Connie and Esther baked. So I'll go back to the original problem and draw a tape diagram for the original numbers. We know our answer should end up being somewhere around 330 cookies, since that was the estimated amount. So I'll write a new answer statement. Connie and Esther baked exactly blank cookies. And let's draw a tape diagram again showing Connie's. This time we will use the exact amount of 144 cookies. And for Esther, we'll show that she baked the same amount as Connie and then 49 cookies more than that. So again, the extra part of the tape shows how many more cookies Esther baked compared to Connie, and that was 49. If they had baked the same amount, Esther would have baked 144 cookies. And again, we need to figure out exactly how many cookies Esther baked and then what the total was for the two girls. So let's combine 144 plus 49. I'll do some compensation addition here. meaning if I take 1 away from my 144, that would be 143, and add it to the 49, that makes it 50. I can add 143 plus 50 in my head easier than 144 plus 49. So 143 plus 50 is 193. That means Esther baked 193 cookies, and now we can find out the exact amount baked by both girls. 4 plus 3 is 7. 4 groups of 10 plus 9 groups is 13 groups. And 1, 2, and 3. So Connie and Esther baked exactly 337 cookies, which was pretty close to our estimate. The next question says raffle tickets were sold for a school fundraiser to teachers and students. 563 tickets were sold to teachers. 888 more tickets were sold to students than to teachers. How many tickets were sold to teachers and students? We're going to start by estimating our answer first. And I'll write my answer statement at the bottom. So we need to figure out how many tickets were sold to teachers and students. I'll say blank. Tickets were sold to teachers and students. Well, this time we're going to round our numbers to the nearest hundred. If I look at the amount sold to teachers, I have 563. Since I have a 5 in my hundreds place, my lower answer choice would be 500. The next group of 100 would be 600. The midpoint is 550, so 563 falls after the midpoint. That would round to 600. Let's look at how many more tickets were sold to students. That number was 888. If I round that to the nearest 100, my lower choice would be 800. My higher choice would be 900. The midpoint is 850. 888 falls after the midpoint, so that number would round to 900. Now let's work those numbers into our tape diagram. The teachers bought 600 tickets, so we'll mark that. The students bought the same amount as the teachers plus 900 more. So we'll mark that tape diagram, showing that the part that's more than the teachers is 900 tickets. And if they had bought the same amount of tickets as the teachers, that would have been 600 tickets. Here we need to figure out how many tickets were sold to students, and then about how many tickets were sold in all. Well, 600 plus 900 would be 1,500. And I'll add 1,500 to the 600 sold to the teachers. And that would give me a total of 2,100. So we'll say about 2,100 tickets were sold to teachers and students. Now we're going to find our exact answer, knowing that it should be somewhere around our estimated answer of 2,100 tickets. This time for teachers, we'll write the exact amount of tickets sold to teachers, and that was 563. And the number of tickets sold to the students was the same amount as the teachers, and then 888 more. So we'll show that portion that's more than the teachers as being 888 tickets. If they had sold the same amount, that would have been 563 tickets. And again, we need to find out how many tickets exactly were sold to students. And then we need a combination of the tickets sold to teachers and students. To figure out the number sold to the students, I'll use the standard algorithm. So we have 563 tickets plus 888. 3 plus 8 is 11. 6 and 8 is 14, plus 1 more is 15. 5 and 8 is 13, plus 1 more is 14. That tells me 1,451 tickets were sold to the students. Now we'll take that number and add it to the 563 tickets sold to the teachers. 1 plus 3 is 4. 5 plus 6 is 11. 4 plus 5 is 9, plus 1 is 10. 1 plus 1 is 2. That means that in all, 2,014 tickets were sold to teachers and students, which is pretty close to our estimated answer of 2,100 tickets.